You don't need me to tell you that police officers have a lot to think about. You can probably recite the problems in the paperwork that greet you every day. But a lot of our job comes down to thinking. Thinking about the law, thinking about the public, and thinking about our safety. And sometimes we do too much thinking, especially when we overlook violations, the kind that on their face don't seem too dangerous, but given the right circumstances pack a mean and vicious punch. This is what we want to talk about, protecting the public and enforcing the law. It's what we do day in and day out, and it can become routine. When that happens sometimes, we let violations slip by for a variety of reasons. It occurs every day across the country, and that's why we want you to watch this tape with us. Because it doesn't matter where you work. Every once in a while, we all need a reminder that the law is not just for him, and the law is not just for her. The law is for all.
Boy, those were the days, weren't they? 14 years old, no school, no parents, and no cares.
Yeah, I also remember no money, no girls, and no cars.
And in some cases, no smarts. Look at this kid. He must have forgotten to pay his brain bill this month. Wrong side, no helmet. That should be a ticket.
Yeah, that's true, but I sure remember how much fun it was riding around the streets when I was a kid. Doing anything I wanted to. The cops never bothered me.
Yeah, sure. And I guess he's really not hurting anyone.
Memories of youth. We all have them, and most of the time they're great. Here's one time they're not. These two well-intentioned officers let sentiment interfere with enforcement and didn't do their job. It's not that the young cyclist could only hurt himself, which is wrong, or that the officers remember their old cycling fun, which isn't relevant. The problem is the young cyclist is breaking the law. He's riding on the wrong side of the street, a very dangerous offense. Nearly 1/3 of all car-bike crashes involve wrong-way riders. If he does crash, there's no telling what it might do to the car, or the driver that hits him, or the others it may end up involving, either emotionally or financially. As pleasant as our memories are, when we were kids, there was a lot less traffic, fewer bicycles, and fewer cyclists riding them. It's a much different world today. That makes it much more important that you do your job and enforce the traffic laws, even those involving bicycles. It makes the road safer for motorists and cyclists alike. We should all grow old cherishing the memories of youth.
Look at this idiot running a stop sign. Think she'll blame that on defective brakes? Whoops.
Whoa, won't stop for the sign, but at least she doesn't want to run over the kids on the bike.
Well, it's trooper's choice. You want to go after the car or the kids?
Are you kidding? If we come into the station writing up kids on bikes, we'll never hear the end of it. Pretty soon the sergeant will have us patrolling the grammar school parking lot.
Well, what are we waiting for? We got a car to catch.
Why did the two officers choose to pursue the automobile and avoid the cyclist? Did they do it to conquer a greater evil, the motor vehicle violator? Or was it because there's a bigger bias at work here, that enforcing bike laws isn't real police work? Don't let peer pressure stop you from doing your job. As we saw, this cyclist was extremely reckless and much more dangerous than some motorist rolling through a stop sign. Our job isn't to impress our peers. We're supposed to protect the public. And we know that increased law enforcement reduces crashes. But many officers feel stopping bikes isn't real police work, while writing parking tickets and equipment violations is. But bicycle violations result in car-bike crashes, often involving injuries or death. Ask yourself, which enforcement effort has more potential to protect the public, parking tickets or bike stops? And that's the bottom line in any law enforcement agency, to protect the public and save lives.
Here, you do the UD8s, I'll take care of the UD7s. We got bond receipts, we got property receipts, we got a traffic crash report we haven't finished yet. We got so much paperwork here, we just ought to transfer to the IRS.
Yeah, and then we'd have everyone after us, not just the judge, the prosecutors, and the defense attorneys.
Hey, they're still not ticked off about that bicycle ticket we wrote last week, are they?
Yeah, and I'll bet the kids' parents read them the riot act.
Like we're going to do the Evel Knievel Jr. here.
Whoa, slow down a second. Do you really want to write up another biker so quickly? The guys might give us some flack about it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. This must be your lucky day, kid.
As you can see, these officers didn't do anything, when in fact they had several options, up to and including writing a citation. They could have stopped the kid and given him a verbal warning. They could have issued a written warning, like some departments do. They could have notified a parent, either in person or in writing. Or they could have simply warned the young cyclist with their car's PA system. But here they didn't do anything, or doing something could have reinforced the bike safety education message that the child has probably already received in school. Lack of enforcement encourages violations, and that's a dangerous option.
From 71.
715.
Have a report of a car bicycle PI accident at the corner of 15th and Pine.
Hey, that's just around the corner.
15th and Pine, ambulance has been dispatched. You're clear?
We're clear.
You don't suppose that's the same kid that we just let slide, do you? Oh, it is, and it doesn't look good.
Man, if I just let you go after him, he still might be alive.
Well, we can't put this off much longer. One of us is going to have to tell his parents. Who's it going to be?
As many of you already know, this is one of the most difficult tasks any of us will ever do. They just can't prepare you for it at the academy. How do you tell a parent their child is dead? It's devastating to everyone involved. I hope it never happens to you, but chances are it will. All we can do is the best job we can to prevent crashes like this. In our previous vignette, the cyclist might have been saved if the officers would have done something when they witnessed his reckless and careless riding habits. The point is, that's our job, like it or not. And who knows what kid's life you might save the next time you stop a bicycle violator. Our job is to protect the public, and that includes bicyclists, young and old. And if that means writing a citation, then so be it. When you hit the streets, there are 7 crucial violations that contribute most often to car-bike crashes. The first 4 deal with bicycle drivers. Number 1, disobeying stop signs and traffic signals. 2, failing to yield right-of-way when exiting alleys or driveways. Number 3, riding against traffic. 4, riding at night without a headlight or proper reflectors. Our final 3 focus on motor vehicle drivers. Number 5 is a motorist failing to yield right-of-way to a cyclist when making a turn. 6, watch for motorists improperly passing a bicycle. And number 7 is DUI, drinking and driving. We have to step over our childhood memories and ignore our biases, and remember that whatever option you pick, that something is always better than doing nothing. Because whether someone is driving a motorcycle, a car, or a bicycle, when you're using the roadway, we have to remember that the law is for all.